Stadium. How are we doing today? You guys excited to see some killer whales up close? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Your curiosity is wonderful. And just like all of you, it was my own curiosity about nature that led me to working right here at SeaWorld. We receive so many questions about killer whales each and every day from kids and grown-ups of all ages. So we gathered all those questions right here in the Killer Whales Up Close book to share with you today. And we connected the book so that you'll be able to see everything up on our big screens. Now, if you're ready to get started, it's my privilege to introduce you to Mike.
Thank you very much, Jenna. How's Matt? What are you doing today? Great, you guys ready to see some killer whales? All right, well, first up, here's a pair of females who are two of our most athletic whales. Coming right over here on this side, we have 27-year-old Orkid and 22-year-old Shouka. Next up, we have our 14-year-old male. He is also one of our most intelligent animals. Let's give it up for Nakai. And last but certainly not least, two of our most special whales. A first-time mom and her 1-year-old cat. Everybody, please give a nice welcome to Kalia and Amaya.
There's a big one. She's just 1 year old, less than 1 year old.
Maybe.
She's with her mommy.
All right, well, here at SeaWorld we have 11 whales. We have 5 males and 6 females. They range in age from baby Amaya, who is 1 year old, all the way up to Orkid, who is 51 years old.
Wow.
Wow. So you can see how different each whale is. But did you know that there are even bigger differences in the wild? In fact, would you be surprised if I told you that there are actually different kinds of killer whales? Yeah, scientists refer to them as ecotypes. They live in different habitats, they have different body types, and they even pursue different types of food. And although killer whale ecotypes are different, they're all still considered members of one species, or Sinus orca. So one of those questions we get asked all the time is, how big does a killer whale grow to be? Well, that would depend on which ecotype you're talking about. Is this killer whale a 16-foot female from Iceland or a 30-foot male from Antarctica? Let's take a closer look.
Killer whales, no matter which type, is that they are found throughout our global ocean, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, and literally everywhere in between. They are found in so many different habitats and depend on such a variety of marine life for survival that killer whales are more intertwined with the fate of our ocean than any other marine animal. Truly, these awesome animals are the living symbol of our ocean, representing so much more than their own species.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let's hear for our killer whale. Okay, so now it's time to check out some of your great questions. Here we go. So many people wonder about our trainers. In fact, raise your hands out there if any of you have ever wanted to be an animal trainer. Oh, wow. That's a lot of hands. Well, then I think you should meet the dedicated men and women that interact with our family of whales every single day. So take a look up on main stage. You'll see Missy. There's Mike again. Vicky. And Christy. Our trainers are so passionate about what they do here every single day. Actually, that makes me think of another of your great questions. Do the trainers talk to the whales? Well, Mike, I'll let you answer that one.
That is a great question. We may not talk to the whales like you and I talk to each other, but we have taught them different hand signals that we use to communicate with them. This ongoing communication helps us build strong relationships with the whales, and we use those strong relationships to answer important questions through research.
Here at SeaWorld, we have a unique opportunity to conduct research about killer whales, asking important questions that can only be answered in a setting like this. So much of what we learn here is being used to help killer whales in the wild. Of course, there are other questions that can only be explored by studying whales in the ocean. By exploring questions both at SeaWorld and in the wild, our combined research gives all of us a better understanding of killer whales and the places they live.
And that's what I call working together. Research flowing in both directions, from our park to the wild and back again. That way, everyone benefits. Okay, time for another question. And perfect. This individual wonders why whales jump. Well, I just happened to that emoji. Look. You know, killer whales communicate in a lot of different ways. Sometimes they vocalize, and sometimes they use their bodies. And a jump like that, it's called a breach. They're making a sound on top of the water. And when a whale uses their bodies to slap the water, it really creates commotion, both above and below the surface. Now this could be just to show their excitement, or maybe display a little power, or just get the attention of the other whales. Oh yeah, so some of you may have heard Mike mention our brand new calf, Amaya, earlier. And our SeaWorld social media fans actually helped us name her. Here at SeaWorld, we're so lucky to watch newborn calves rely on their mothers for everything, from the very first moment of birth.
As a calf grows and gains some independence, it is looked after by other whales in the pod too. They help the mother protect the calf, teach it survival skills, and show the calf how to romp and play. Killer whales live in family-like groups known as pods. Like human families, their pods can range in size, from just a handful of whales up to a few dozen.
Okay, so here's another really important question. Does having a killer whale breeding program here at SeaWorld help whales in the wild? Absolutely. Our successful breeding program helps us to understand the developmental needs of pregnant mothers and newborn calves, and even young killer whales. And that's critical information because it's the time when killer whales are most vulnerable in the wild. And gaining this kind of knowledge is only possible through the research that we're able to do right here at SeaWorld.
Recently, SeaWorld worked with researchers from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, to help them develop a model for identifying when a killer whale is pregnant by looking at aerial images of the animal in the wild. Prior to this cooperative effort, where SeaWorld provided direct, unparalleled access to our pregnant whales, researchers had no solid way of knowing whether or not a female in the wild was carrying a calf.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a lot of questions, but believe it or not, we get them here every day.
We sure do. Killer whales communicate with each other using all sorts of sounds. Let's listen. Each killer whale, each pod uses their own dialect, their own different set of calls. But don't forget, they also use body language.
Yeah, sometimes they blow bubbles or bump into each other, or even scratch each other with their teeth, causing something called rake marks. And those are the multi-layer marks that you might see on the skin of killer whales and dolphins. And that's just one of the ways that they display dominance over each other during social interaction, both in the wild and here at SeaWorld. So we've just learned how killer whales communicate with each other. But do you guys all know how we communicate with them? We use signals. And here at SeaWorld, We really do communicate with our whales, and we want future generations to be able to do the same.
That's right. Now, this is my favorite part of the show. This is where we get a couple volunteers to come down and help us out. Now, over here on the right-hand side, this is Acacio working with Christy and Shouka. And right over here, we have Gabrielle working with, on the stage. We're going to have Gabrielle with Missy and Orkid. Now, you guys pay attention. We can have Gabrielle and Acacio. They're going to give Shouka and Orkid a few signals. Looks like Acacio's dancing with Shouka. Very nice. And Gabrielle's dancing with Missy and Orkid as well. All right, Acacio is going to give Shouka a nice big quick wave. Great job, guys. And it looks like Orkid took a signal from Gabrielle, and we are going to have a big surprise waiting for her. Here it comes. Very nice, you guys. Now, we do have a couple whale necklaces for you. Hopefully this will remind you of your trip and interaction with Orkid and Shouka today. Everybody, let's give it up for Gabrielle and Acacio. Very nice.
Mike, looks like we maybe have some future animal trainers on our hands. You guys think they did a good job? All right. Okay, so here's another really great question. Who takes care of you, Shamu? I love that question because it lets us show all of you how much we really care about these extraordinary animals. So, Mike, are our trainers ready?
We are ready. Now, the training you guys are about to see is some of our husbandry training. This is the most important training that we can do to make sure that our whales are being well taken care of. They actually are going to participate in their own health care. Now, just like you and I will go to the doctor, our whales also get examinations as well. So you're going to see Shouka and Christy here interacting. Shouka is going to offer Christy her tail flukes, and this is how our veterinarians are able to draw blood from our whales. That way we can see if everything's healthy. We can even tell if some of the females are pregnant. Now, Missy is going to ask Orkid up into the Slideout. Now, while this is a beautiful behavior for all you photographers out there, this actually serves a greater purpose in weighing our whales. Now, this is to make sure that the whales are growing properly and that the calves are gaining weight nicely. Now, the high energy behaviors that you guys see in our show are not only there to be here at SeaWorld and in the wild, but they also ensure that our whales are getting the proper exercise each and every single day. So you'll see Nakai take a little jump over here. Very nice. And that's just to make sure that our whales are getting exercised every day.
And I know that our guests also always wonder, well, how much does a killer whale need to eat every day to stay healthy?
Well, just like you and I, killer whales have different dietary needs. Baby Amaya is only eating 16 pounds of fish every day, but she's still getting all of her nutrition from her mother. She's still nursing. Now, our biggest whale, Ulises, is almost 10,000 pounds, and he eats over 185 pounds of fish every single day. Now, it's important to note that no matter what the killer whales do, they're going to still get every single fish that they need every single day.
And because we've been able to determine how much killer whales eat throughout different stages of their life, researchers in the field are able to determine if ocean habitats are healthy enough for killer whale populations to thrive. And well, that type of information is invaluable.
You know, food, exercise, and physical examinations from our veterinarians are not the only thing that our killer whales need. We also want to make sure that their minds are challenged and stimulated as well. If you look right up here on our big screen, what we're going to see is some of the whales playing with some environmental enrichment devices. Now, that's a trainer term for toys. We have a giant toy box in the back full of killer whale playthings, including kelp that we can pull right here from Mission Bay. The whales seem to enjoy that. We also have non-flavored, non-sugared gelatin that the whales seem to enjoy. And we can use this to help us build our relationship. Now, you can see Christy and Shouka playing kick down here. Vicky is throwing some snow to Nakai up on the stage. Missy's just kind of spending some time over there with Orkid. And this are a bunch of different and great ways that we can reinforce the whales and build our relationship with them. Still, though, we do find that the best interaction and the best enrichment is the social interaction with other whales and our group of experienced trainers.
Okay, so here's a question for all you kids out there, because I know you want to know. Well, who would win if a killer whale squared off with a great white shark? So let's take a poll. Raise your hands if you think that the great white shark would win. Okay, I see a couple hands. Okay, now raise your hands if you think the killer whales would win. Yeah, that's right, the killer whales. You see, a great white shark hunts alone, but a killer whale hunts with a whole pod, so it's not even a competition. You know, killer whales have even been known to hunt blue whales. Do you guys know how big a blue whale is? Well, it's over 80 feet. It's the largest animal ever to have existed on our planet. But killer whales can hunt these huge animals because they coordinate, they collaborate, and they cooperate. Yeah, they work together as a group to overcome challenges much bigger than themselves. And, you know, I think that we can learn a lot from killer whales on how to overcome challenges that, say, our ocean faces. If we work together, maybe we could change the fate of the ocean. Or who knows, maybe even one day, the world. Oh, okay. So here's some more questions, and these look like some of those really common ones that always come in. So, all right, first question, here we go. Why do some dorsal fins curve? It's a great question. You see, dorsal fins lack any sort of skeletal support, such as bones or cartilage, to support their whole height and weight. They're completely made up of something called connective tissue. So if an animal spends more time at the surface, over time, the tissue inside that fin might weaken and the fin could bend. Now, occasionally we see these curved dorsal fins out in the wild, like you see here in the photos, and here at SeaWorld. Okay, next question. Ooh, how fast can they swim? Well, depending on their size and weight, killer whales can reach speeds of almost 30 miles an hour. Check it out. Very impressive. Okay, next question. How much water can their tails splash? Well, their tails, or flukes as they're called, are really strong and can fling a whole lot of water about halfway up these stands. So, last question. If all of the whales splashed at once, could they get the whole audience wet? Maybe not the whole audience.
Salute. I mean, Keet
Gentlemen, that was our biggest whale, Ulises, and heads up, so going over on this side. Here comes Keet.
Thanks a lot.
Wow. Now that was refreshing. You know, killer whales are so inspiring. In fact, the more we learn about them, the more that we see they represent more than just themselves. And truly, to better understand the killer whale is to better understand our ocean. So never stop wondering about the natural world around you. Be sure to visit SeaWorldSanDiego.com for your free download of our Killer Whales Up Close book and share it with your family and friends.
From all of us to all of you, thank you for coming, thank you for wondering, thank you for caring.